they've given us a truly beautiful moment here. That is Jordan tossing Christian to the floor. Great leverage. I mean, he really, really throws him down. He had phenomenal leverage.
Oh my God, the technique was absolutely incredible. I think he's got to have a high school wrestling background.
Yeah.
He took the back, he secured that body lock, and he was like, hey, Christian, I know you're an international soccer player, probably well-traveled. I took the liberty of booking you a one-way first-class ticket on Air Jordan, all right? You're going for a ride, buddy.
Wow,
You're going
so
for
good.
a ride.
Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Bachelor podcast. We are back, baby, feeling very rejuvenated from vacation, which we're going to talk about in a second. We owe all of you a huge apology. But before we do, I'm Dylan, saddled up next to my buddy, Real Nick Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
Patrick, the producer of the podcast, is behind the glass.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
So, I'll just come out and say it. We missed an episode. We just didn't do an episode.
I'm glad you're rejuvenated. I've been riddled with guilt.
No, I feel great.
I feel like I have a way of making this up to the audience.
I would love to hear it.
Are you going to summarize an episode that we saw a week ago?
Oh, yeah. So it was
Sounds like a terrible idea.
It was a great episode.
Okay. Here's what my segment's called. Previously on Bachelor in Paradise.
That's a great name.
All right, here we go. Previously, Demi lays out her feelings for Derek. She likes him, but she's dating a chick and she thinks he's a little needy and that's turning her off. Previously, all the girls are talking shit about Blake. They think he's a complete piece of shit. Previously, Cam realizes he's a loser when Lipstick Eater is talking to Jordan and says something to the effect, Cam who? Previously, Dean shows up. He's a lost soul, a drunk, a womanizer, and has no ambitions. His words, not mine. But he's still good looking, and in this even new woke world, it still revolves around good looks and confidence. So he's around. Previously, this guy shows up. Rico. This guy acts like a complete jerk, and he gets bitch tossed over a fence by Jordan Kimball, and that's where it leads us to our current episode.
So, our current episode, and we do apologize, it'll never happen again. First episode, Nick, what do you think about it?
Just for the first episode, I'm doing
Generally.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was a great 2 hours of television.
Yeah.
Ended on a incredible cliffhanger, one of the most exciting moments ever in Bachelor in Paradise. I'm going to give it 89 knots.
Yeah. Pat?
That gets Dylan every time.
Pat?
I still am going to say it's a decent episode.
Oh, you're so wrong.
Dylan, some baby birdie who's going to be thrown out tonight, I think, said that you were the one that said that this is the B squad.
Yeah, I was.
This cast sucks.
I was.
That
the
was
person
me that said that.
No, you agreed with me after I said it.
Can I be the arbiter of this situation?
Yeah.
I think Pat brought it up first.
And then I agreed with it?
Yeah, later you said, because you were like, we'll get there about the lacking of this squad, and then you did bring it up later. I'm going to say Pat said it first. You guys both had it on your notes.
I'll agree with you, but I can't let him have that because I wrote it down in my notes.
You didn't.
I can't just let it. I mean, we both had the hot take.
It was parallel thinking, but
all right. Well,
Pat was ahead of the race.
I'm going to get to my general thoughts. First episode, some of the best TV this franchise has ever given us. Of course, the fight. Of course, the rose ceremony. JPJ and Tayshia, which fucking melted me. I'm going to give it 93 knots. Okay, so I was, speaking of this feud we've had, I was disappointed. We were all disappointed in the casting last time we met. Christian and Jordan, wonderful casting. Wonderful casting. I mean, they've given us a truly beautiful moment here. That is Jordan tossing Christian to the floor. Great leverage. I mean, he really, really throws him down. He had phenomenal leverage.
Oh my God, the technique was absolutely incredible. I think he's got to have a high school wrestling background.
Yeah.
He took the back, he secured that body lock, and he was like, hey, Christian, I know you're an international soccer player, probably well-traveled. I took the liberty of booking you a one-way first-class ticket on Air Jordan, all right? You're going for a ride, buddy.
Wow,
You're going for a ride.
Yeah, no, I thought that he got a little bit lucky. I think that, 10 times out of 10, I'd probably pick Christian to beat the absolute piss out of Jordan. Maybe you disagree with me. I felt horrible for Christian because the chance for retaliation was completely ripped away from him. I mean,
and that's one of the great things about street fighting is it's only going to last 30 seconds. So get your punches in, people will break you up, and then you get declared the winner. Let me say this. I disagree with everything that Jordan did.
Yeah.
But because because this guy was such a colossal asshole, I really enjoyed it. And I also enjoyed seeing Clay in the background looking like a little bitch. You got someone else fighting your battles for you?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that he really employed.
I didn't send him over there.
Spot on. I don't know that he really employed him to do it. He rather did the opposite. He was like, please don't.
Everybody's like, what is he doing? I was pissed that he grabbed at the piñata. I think he was going to try to recreate last season. He was going to go throw it in the ocean.
Yes. That's exactly what he's doing.
But it would have been a way doper move if he just comes up with an overhand right and destroys the piñata, candy everywhere.
Yeah, I mean...
And probably a little Basel liquor.
Yeah, no, I mean, if we could only rewind our histories and make better decisions.
Guys, though, at the root of this, if you really think about it, Jordan kind of put this in the context that he was going to defend some other man's honor. Like, you're screwing with my friend, I'm going to fuck with you. And then they did the flashback to the Men Tell All, where this is the most camera time that Rico Suave ever got. He wears no socks and, what do you call that where you walk where your pants are too high?
High waters?
Fashion.
Either will apply. But this guy got stuck in his craw from that moment, and Jordan knew that he needed to make a statement with this guy.
Yeah. I mean, so, they roll around very, very briefly. Christian gets dominated. I mean, he was tenacious and he was resilient. I mean, oh my God, he kept coming at him. And like you said, soccer player, great cardiovascular health. He was sprinting in the sand and he was running circles around these security guards.
Oh yeah,
it looked like he was splitting the defense. Yeah. Like he
in sand.
And there's that contact where you can just tell those quads are there, and he just brushes off the contact.
Totally, absolutely, very, very low center of gravity.
Mm-hmm. Can I do a meanwhile while this is taking place? We got a bunch of puss bags having a puss off over at the bar, going like, "Wow, it's not safe here."
All right, old man.
No, but hold on. Honestly,
Jesus Christ.
Have these wimps ever been to a backyard house party where the keg runs dry, all the hot chicks have gone home, and there's nothing left to do but punch each other?
Very specific. And no, I doubt they have because of how specific that was. I don't want to be insulting, but we just have to remind ourselves, the craziest thing about all of this is that this is over Nicole. It's over Nicole. In Arrested Development, when they're talking about Anne? Her? Yeah. That's who they're fighting over. But anyways, I love that they injected some MTV into this show. Like, It was so unusual that as you put the puss bags witnessing this, it's so foreign to them that after they're like, we don't know what's going to happen. We're not sure. Like, I've never seen this before.
There's no room for violence here.
Yeah.
Nicole was acting so remorseful. She was like, I didn't want anybody to get hurt. When last episode, she literally said, I just want to see someone who will fight for me.
Yeah. Not sure she was talking about literally, but...
She literally said it, though.
Okay. JPJ says my heart rate is... Excuse me. JPJ says my heart rate is jacked, and they talk to Jordan. They tell him, you've got to go. As you said, there's no place for violence here. He handles it like a responsible young man. But listen, he is on Mount Olympus right now. I mean, not only did he win the fight, but going out in this blaze of glory is far superior to whatever embarrassing tenure he had in store for him. Like, you must leave, but also... this is the best thing that could have happened to him. They then talk to Christian, who is a little less,
anything but Christian, if you will.
I was confused about, like, what was he insinuating here? He was like, if it was him and someone else, I hope they would go home too. Like,
he was saying that he was being targeted because this altercation was clearly Jordan Kimball's fault. I mean,
Right.
he was the first one that made it physical. Like, Christian just had an arm bar. I once again, Zabrudered this one. I Zabrudered it. I 0.25 timed it. I was looking at frame by frame.
Can I tell you something? That is fucking psychotic.
Is it? I just
It's
wanted...
a complete waste of time.
I don't think so.
I'll give you
Dylan.
that. I'll give you that. There is no value it adds to my life, to be honest. But
But for the listeners,
yeah.
Well, I want to say that Nick pointed out last season when Luke P had thrown down, I guess, the other Luke down on the soccer field. Zagruder filmed that motherfucker.
Exactly.
And I saw Luke P actually body slam that guy off camera. Thank you for that, Nick. Screw you, Dylan.
I love breaking down fights. It's just like Daniel Cormier doing Detail on ESPN Plus.
you have to stop saying that.
Detail is an incredible show.
think
Kobe
this is-
doing basketball,
This has
also
already
great.
been cut out of the podcast before.
You know what? This whole fight between Jordan and Rico Suave, you know who the real winner in this all is?
Clay?
Yes, he had a threat evaded with no heavy lifting.
Right.
This is insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty
This-
Machiavellian.
I would say this could. Oh yes, I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
The prince.
It's the third law of the 48 laws of power.
Let someone else do your dirty work.
Yep.
And God bless Robert Greene, that
God
hero.
bless, yeah.
And Nicole now tells Clay, she was like, I always knew it was
Yeah,
you.
okay.
Now that you were the only one left, I
the
always
fuck off.
knew it was you.
Oh God. All right. So Chris Harrison gathers them all to just kind of break down the evening's events and says just a hilarious line. Guys, I'm sorry to interrupt. Please meet me in the Palapa. He reminds the group why they came here. This is a second chance for love, and it sickens me though because this is where I don't want this kind of earnesty. This is Bachelor in Paradise, okay? This is the Thunderdome. We've had people fighting. Just please cut the bullshit, Chris. Go fuck whores and play in pro-ams.
Earnestness?
Did I say earnestness or earnesty?
You said earnesty. I don't know. I'm saying it might be earnestness.
Green jacket, brown jacket. Who gives a shit?
That was wrong too. Okay, so Clay and Nicole sit down and they kind of recommit, and she says that. Oh no, excuse me. He says that she looks like J-Lo, but better, which is really nice of him. And then we've got to get to the rest of the cocktail party.
Yeah, I got a little ahead of myself. That's when she said it. She knew it was always him.
Yeah. So anyways, now that Jordan and Christian are going home, it means we've got 2 more roses to hand out. Sub 1 immediately because Onyeka steps up.
Now, why did she step up, Dylan? Do you remember that Cam, while he has little purpose on this show, he sneaks in a little info to Oh No Cuz. He tells her that he overheard Mike saying, who she kind of had a crush on, that he wasn't really into her.
Yeah, she's not his type. And listen, I feel bad for Onyeka because Cam's not even really trying to be with her. And if Cam's not trying to get after you, I mean, you just got to go home. I mean, it's not working. It's not you. It's not you, although it's probably you. But I just feel bad for her. It was really, really.
Might have been my favorite cold open in our show's history last week.
Yeah, no, it was really, really funny.
Demi, which we'll later find has some stuff going on. She trashes the Dylan Blake Hannah love triangle and throws a lot of hate there. Meanwhile, I don't want to hate on Demi yet, but she's kind of in a love triangle of her own.
She does a lot of hypocritical things, and I'll get to Demi later. I don't know why she's getting a fucking pass, man.
She hired a contractor, and she's like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a house, but we're going to build it all out of glass. And once that house was finished, she stepped in there with a pile of stones, and she's just started chucking them at the walls. That's what she's doing right now.
That's exactly what she's doing.
Nice!
And, it's just sad because I was thinking, I'm bummed we haven't gotten more Demi. She's the biggest personality on this show. She hasn't been herself because she's torn in 2 different directions. She hasn't been able to express herself, but she's the biggest personality on the show. And this Hannah, Blake, Dylan thing, and now this Nicole thing have just completely been the overwhelming stories of this season. And it's been good. But, I could use a little bit more Demi sass in my life. I mean, we just haven't seen it that much.
Well, we got it in the episode that we didn't recap. Her and Jordan Kimball, I got a purpose for both these idiots. Sit on the sideline on the beach and just do commentary and then cut to these two people. That's a morning show that I would watch.
Right, yeah, like a dumb Attenborough.
Attenborough, or what are those two Muppets? It's like Oswald and Waldorf.
Totally.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Mystery Science Theater.
No. He does. Pat knows, and not only does he know, he's going to educate you right now.
Oh, no, Pat, we have so much to get to. All right, let's get to Hannah. Great vitamin analogy. The second I saw this, I was like, Nick loved this.
I was just wondering if she wrote it herself. Was she fed that? Statler and
Waldorf.
I had Waldorf. I said Oswald.
Yeah. Something inside me is telling me I don't think you were going to get to Statler.
You guys, I 15, 20 more minutes
of just hard fucking thinking. So, I'm sad that you were suspicious of that line because it brought pure joy to me, even though it was coming from a succubus.
What made me think she did write it is because after she said it, she was like, vitamin D or vitamin B? She was like, Dylan and Blake. Like, assuming other people wouldn't get it because she thought that was the most clever thing she's ever thought of.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did you watch that at 0.25 speed?
The entire episode, they all sounded wasted. Pills are good.
Okay, so it is so fucking weird. Anytime Dylan and Hannah are together, they behave like sixth graders who are being chaperoned by parents. Like, it is so fucking weird how they interact with each other.
Great, boy, you put a picture to words to a picture, sir. I couldn't have put it that better myself.
Thank you. Yeah, they're just so awkward. I mean, Dylan sits down with her for this picnic and does exactly what she wants him to do. Overwhelms her by aggressively reassuring her that he's not going to pick anyone else. I'm just sitting there like, stop, Dylan. She knows you're not going to pick anybody else, man. She knows that.
These two seem like super vanilla and like, oh my God, like just boring and gross and weird. I bet once they get in the bedroom, if they make it after this, they're going to get really freaky. He's going to be like in a gimp costume. She's going to be walking him around on a leash.
Oh, yeah.
That's his vibe, dude. That's his vibe. I
get more like missionary for like 3.5 minutes and then lots of "Are you okay, Hannah?" after. That's kind of the vibe that I get.
And apologizing for coming inside her and like, I'll pay for the plan B if you want to do that.
Got vulgar and sad, but anyways. So picnic was lovely because she's a child and she eats gummy worms and likes, I don't know,
Ritz crackers.
Sure. Yeah.
Ritz crackers are a little exotic for her. She's a saltine girl.
No, there were Ritzes.
In this they did actually have Ritzes.
Yeah,
I thought he was just making fun that she was so vanilla and that she likes Ritz crackers. But no, I guess they were actually there.
Yeah, no, they were there. All right, so Blake pulls her over next, and once again, he's just Stockholming her so hard. Pat?
I want to tonight, I want to remind you why you had a little bit of a crush on me. Oh, what do we got here?
Disgusting. Sociopathic.
So this is kind of weird. Like, both guys get private dates with Hannah. And I don't know how this works. Do each guy go to the producers and say, hey, I need this. I need crackers. I need gummy worms. I need a mariachi band. Because here's Dylan. Do you have paper plates?
Blake did just shit all over that $1.50 gas station candy.
This is the thing, though. I think you're spot on. Dylan's like, hey, can I get some gummy worms and crackers? And Blake is like,
yes.
I want to do something for her. And they're like, well, we have a mariachi band. And he's like, okay, that sounds good. Like, I think that Dylan, is as pathetic as he is actually trying to do something cute because he listens to her. And he probably picked up that she has the she's in the yummy phase. Yes. And Blake has
he needs the wow factor.
He's not heard a fucking word she's ever said, and he just wants to wow her with the horrifying sounds of a mariachi band. It's the most aggressive music.
To answer your question, Patrick, I think there is a thing. They're produced, directed to do setups. Because Katie even mentioned Wills did an entire setup for her, and she was like, "This is all I've wanted, like someone to do a setup for me." And it's like a trope of the show.
Yeah.
And you'll see 2 or 3 of them, just like you will a date, and it's usually something.
It's like an office manager or a studio manager's like, Studio A's booked from 12 to 2. You can use B. Like, they probably have things set up and scheduled for those different. They're not quite palapas. They're just beds on the beach.
The palapa is for the most serious of meetings.
Yes,
only.
It's communal, and it is for blood. Okay, so where are we going next? She just starts making out, and then she straddles him, and it's all in front of Dylan, which is absolutely insane.
You showed me a weird kind of niche viral Twitter video of...
this Twitter video is just hilarious. It is so funny.
I don't really know. I guess it was...
It seemed to be some type of... what do you call Mexican wrestling?
Lucha Libre.
It seemed to be at some type of rundown... empty warehouse lucha libre show, and there was a young man and his girlfriend who's a little bit overweight. I'd probably put her at like a deuce 225 maybe.
Deuce and a half.
Yeah, and he was just sucking on her tit in the midst of all of these people, sucking on her tit.
Quite possibly like a family type event. A lot of chaos going on, but it did not seem like the place to be sucking on a tit.
Yeah,
and
I wish you didn't bring this up.
The whole point of me bringing this up is what Hannah and Blake were doing.
I love that Mike is seeing this, and Mike's like, "Come on, Hannah, you're better than this. Why do people think that she's better than this? She's a fucking she's not quite Jenna, but she's almost there. She's Two-Face. We're gonna stick with Batman villains. All right,
the Riddler. Who are we talking about?
Okay, so let's get to Dylan weeping really quick."
I've been nothing but good and nothing but real, and to have to go through this is just crazy. I'm scared, dude. If she sends me home, I'm gonna be heartbroken.
Now, Del, I know that normally the audience would expect me to hit that space bar where I have Pussy by Iggy Azalea playing.
1000% thought that Iggy was coming.
That's too easy. Okay? That's a little too easy.
I don't know any other songs.
We should all be terrified when Jordan Kimball is too masculine for the party. And now I'm going to self-indulge myself in a little history.
Oh, okay. That was redundant.
On June 6, 1944, the U.S. assault on Omaha Beach took place. Omaha was the most heavily defended beach during the landing. Many of the land craft hit sandbars, and men were up to their waists and necks while under fire on the beach. Casualties were around 2,000 as men were subjected to fire from the cliffs above. By noon, the artillery fire took its toll, and the Germans started running out of ammunition. But Americans were able to clear the lanes and storm the beach. Can you imagine Dylan, Wills, Blake being handed a rifle and told they needed to get off the boat and storm a beach? Well, bullets were being thrown their way. How do you think that was going to go?
I don't think they could do that, Pat, because each one of them is a huge
pussy, pussy, Pussy.
Oh, we're doing this?
Pussy.
I tried to avoid this. I tried to give a history lesson.
Pussy.
Dr. History, Nikki!
Iggy, pussy, illy. Whether the Amazon tastes this kitty, silly Billy, poppin' pilly, smoke 'em like a swisher, lick this Philly, mold 'em, soak 'em, soak 'em like crack, after shot, molten, lava dry, call me pie.
All right, down, Patrick, pull it down. So, I mean, that was...
I struggled.
Big time. I mean, your tongue got in the way.
There's always next week.
D plus.
I don't.
That's too harsh. I'm going to say C minus.
I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
I thought you did good.
All right, let's.
I started okay. Wetter than the Amazon.
You can't do it.
Wetter than the Amazon.
Rose ceremony. So Onyeka steps up. She's got a tragic announcement. Love the move. Don't prolong this hospice any longer than you have to. You're what?
Patrick's triggered.
Why? You've been in a lot of wards? Okay. All right, Pat, I'm going to need a roll call.
Oh, you want a roll call?
Yes.
Cam, you're fucked. All right, Spinner picks Derek. He's a douchebag. Katie picks the old man. Nicole picks Clay. Kaylin, Dean, why? He's homeless. He lives in a fucking van. Total loser. Tasha, the hottest chick here, picks JPJ. Tells him how much she likes him, and he responds, Sydney picks Mike, teeth licker / guy who laughs when nothing's fucking funny. I hate that, Herbert. Hannah, who has unprecedented amount of pussy power despite being just okay looking, picks Dylan.
I love how we both were like, what?
Did he say the completely wrong word?
He said unprecedented. Unprecedented.
Yeah. It's okay. Fall to the ground. All right. So I was not expecting this at all.
Oh, lipstick eater gives Blake the rose.
I got to agree with you. I thought we were going to see some really heavy tears in the back of an SUV from...
You know what? In hindsight, like knowing
Dylan.
What Kristina did, I think that Dylan was safe. Regardless, I think Kristina probably would have given him a pity rose and kept him around. And, you know, who knows? Maybe he could have been with Kristina. In that butterfly effect universe, I think his life's a lot happier because I think Hannah sucks regardless of her picking Dylan. You know, yes?
That would have been the ideal situation for Kristina. She could have immediately latched on to Dylan as like a parasite and...
stayed the entire time.
Yeah, the entire time.
He would have cried and then proposed to her, but she can deal with that. I say that Hannah's disgusting because I don't know if they're still together, so I may like eat my words or something, but this seems completely meaningless. Like I just feel like I wouldn't put it past her to still hang out with Blake after she tells Dylan.
100%. The fact that she was on the beach the same, like 10 minutes before this, making out with Blake.
Yeah.
That's what her body wants to do, but she knows what her television personality needs to do.
Right.
And yes, maybe she's kind of smart because she goes like, I can fuck Blake next week.
Sure. All right, let's get to Kristina. Initial thoughts when she picks Blake. I mean, just such a bitch move. Bitch move.
A bitch move or being a bitch?
Being
to
a
production?
bitch. Yeah, being a bitch. But then, you know... It bothers me. She's like, I know you're a good person. Please, everyone, stop saying that. Hannah and Blake are not good people. But she says, you more than anyone, I felt was suspicious of this.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here's my problem with Lipstick Eater. First off, let's harken back to just 2 years ago. I thought Lipstick Eater should have been the Bachelorette. So beautiful, carried herself well. Sad story coming from a different country where she had to eat cosmetics all day long. And then she's on this show. Oh no. Now she's here. And this is her second time here. And she likes bad guys. And she's kind of a little bitchy. She's gone down a couple points from me, in my opinion, Lipstick Eater.
I can't agree enough. Just like Harvey Dent, she could have died a hero, but instead she lived long enough to see herself become the villain.
Mm-hmm.
And she's embodying the role quite well. I always think when a girl is small and evil, it makes them like more threatening. I don't know, you know?
I like that.
No, I think tall evil people are scarier because like Maleficent, she's big. Anyway, so
Is she big?
Maleficent,
The
she's a dragon.
The trailer is it the sequel now?
I don't know.
Looked incredible. I went to Lion King with my nieces and nephews.
Oh, was it sad? Did you cry?
I didn't cry, but it was good. People were talking shit about it. It was the exact same movie.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
Scene for scene.
I just want
Planet
the
Earth.
exact
Just
same
don't
movie,
do
but with
shot for
Beyonce
shot.
in it.
They should have
Oh,
learned.
fuck off, Patrick. Okay, can I?
It wasn't shot for shot.
Can I say something really quickly? Like, she says, again, getting back to it, I know you're a good person. You, more than anyone, knows that he's not a good person. You and Kaylin both know very well that he's not a great guy. Right. So that was raising suspicions in this cat. And then she reveals the ultimate plan. Pat?
He accepted my rose. In a way, he's choosing to stay in his personal hell.
May I give my thoughts before you, Dylan?
I was just going to ask you guys if you buy this or not.
No, this is producer intervention. You got to move the story along, and she's sad now. You're sad. You're a sad girl. Oh, wow. You got to walk over to Kevin and, not pig vomit. You got to walk over to Kevin and, who's the Jewish producer of this show? Shauna. And
Rachel,
and
Sarah,
they're telling you, they're feeding her lines. They're feeding her lines.
You mean the white trash Protestant from New Jersey?
Is Shauna? Because I think of a black woman every time.
Oh no, I think of
Will Sasso
smokes cools.
Will Sasso has a hilarious improv character named Shauna, and it's incredible. But Pat, you were saying?
Oh, yeah. Okay. The lipstick eater. She's so sad because a bunch of producers are feeding her lines, and she's sitting in front of the camera just like a great puppet going, oh, you got to explain why you're keeping him here. Blake is a piece of shit, and by now the audience hates him, but you need to explain why you're keeping him here. You hate him and want him in his own personal hell on a beach with free drinks and food and pussy in his own personal hell.
Right.
I 100% agree with you guys. I do think the producers, this is what they wanted. This is what they orchestrated. But I think Kristina was such an easy sell because she's made it known. She wants to stick around for as much camera time as possible. Yes. She knows Blake is an easy target because like they're probably going to send someone ugly down, the next girl that comes in, and she'll get that friendship rose every single time from Blake. I think that's her move. I think she's being very conniving here and self-preserving.
Maybe blew up in her face a little bit.
What do you mean? Camera time.
Instagram.
It's all about camera time. Yeah.
Minutes, baby. You got to play minutes. So quickly, Vampire Pig goes home.
By the way, he's got a ripe red nose.
Dude, he gets a little. The little vampire pig gets pretty snippy here at the end. He's like
boogie shuggy.
Oh, okay, Pat. But he says he's talking about Kristina. He's like, if I were her, if I was her, 100%, it would be me. I would stay here and keep going on with her or any of the girls, really.
He is getting a little snippy.
Yeah.
Last episode, too, the one we didn't cover, he actually echoed our sentiments very well, but snippy too. He was like, Blake's not even that good looking. I don't know if you saw that, Dylan. I don't know, you guys see that?
You know who's not good looking? You little vampire pig.
I think if he didn't have that, he's got good looking eyes. He's too translucent. I'll give you that.
But he's also as wide as can be.
Yeah, too wide.
Bulk is not in. All right, lastly, Dylan says to Hannah, if you don't think I'm keeping this rose for the rest of my life, you're wrong. Cut it out.
I think that's a sweet gesture.
Oh my God.
You can dry those petals out, and it's a real nice.
It's like,
maybe even bronze them.
It's like Quasimodo crawling into the tomb of Esmeralda and holding her dead body until he dies. Pathetic.
I'm gonna get a hold of him. I think you should bronze that rose.
All right. So Pat, who goes home? Vampire Pig, Wills, Cam.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so next day, let's get to
Next morning, Demi has one of her last good one-liners before she turns back into relationship mode, which will destroy the second episode. She says, Blake is a turd that won't flush.
Great one.
Great one.
Could have been doing that all season.
Yeah, where you been, girl?
Or maybe she couldn't. Maybe the well's running dry, and that's why she's switching modes.
I think she doesn't have her lashes on, and they give her superpowers. So anyways,
just like that white jacket
Yeah.
Other property.
Other
Damn it.
property. Okay, so anything else before we get to Caitlin arriving?
That's it.
All right, Caitlin comes down. Pretty girl.
Hi, Mom, you making me hot. That's what Nicole did. That's
Stop
what Nicole
doing
did.
that. So the date card she has in hand, she asks Dean first if he would like to go chat. And hey, here's a weird reaction.
Okay, Dean, do you want to chat?
Whoa, let's talk.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
It's so good. How are you?
Good.
Oh, Dean.
What the fuck? All right, so
He operates off enthusiasm. He is like a well-honed Mike. Mike Johnson hides behind that $1 million smile, but that's all he's got.
Yeah.
Dean is just like always excited. He's actually even kind of wrote me. I like his energy.
Dude, I hated Dean because of what he did to Kristina. Kind of coming around on it.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Look, we all need redemption, right? We've all been pigs in our 20s, and the three of us haven't been on TV where we get to fuck a bunch of girls on a beach, and that was what he did wrong last season.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, maybe he's learned a little, because he went back. Can we point out that he comes back from that little interaction and fucks with Kaylin and says, well, I got to pull you aside. I'm just fucking with you. I'm going to stick around with you till the end.
He's a
It's only
grandpa.
1 week. But when I fly out of here,
Once these cameras shut off?
yeah, I'm going to have some fun again, okay?
All right, so
Do you know how much pussy is going to be
Okay.
in and out of the back of that van?
All right, so she bounces around to pretty much everyone on the island, and she lands on Blake. Dylan is such an idiot. She's the next victim to get tangled up in his web of lust and deceit.
He's 100% right.
Yeah, no, he is. Okay, so day date.
Day date?
It's going to be tantric yoga.
Okay.
Very, very sexual. This whole thing is unbelievably sexual.
Very contrived.
What's wrong with you? How is it not sexual? It's so sexual.
No, I'm just going to get a little ahead of myself. You're pointing out a Captain Obvious later in the episode. Okay, Captain Obvious, it's tantric yoga. It's implied in the name that
No,
it's
but
sexual.
I'm just saying it's so sexual. Like the cowgirl thing, like the close cowgirl thing where he just pulls her onto his lap. How does your willy not get so big and hard there? Like, I don't understand that.
How about when they're asshole to asshole and then they're holding each other's hands underneath their junk? That was a weird one, too.
I mean, the guy...
That was probably the least sexual and most awkward position they did the entire time.
Is that really?
Yeah, but you're a strange person.
Well, that's true. Hey, I want to say
Nothing
that
arouses
nothing
Pat more than going ass to
I've
ass.
slammed this piece of shit, Blake, time and time again. And maybe the audience is bored by this, but I want to say in his OTF, on the fly, when he's talking to the cameras, he says, he talks about being a nice guy, and he's a real catch. If you get to know him, he's a real catch.
Yeah.
No, you're a sex addict, and you're gross.
Well, you know what? But he has a blank slate here with her, and I think that he actually, dare I say, does a really good job. Like, at the risk of sounding like a maniac, he actually does recap his history on the island well enough. This is what we've been begging him. No, he sounds like a crazy person, but he's Blake. So, but this is what we've been asking him to do the entire time. Just like own it. Then you come off as a transparent player, an honest player, which is attractive to a lot of women.
Just be like Kevin. Be transparent.
I love that he says he's ready to forgive himself at the end of this.
He's like, you know what? I think I could bring myself to fuck another girl.
Hey, yeah, how fucking brave is he? You want to talk about D-Day? Jesus Christ.
Caitlin, of course, handles this extremely well because she mentions how we've all made mistakes. She was banging Chad, angry Chad, for a while.
No way.
Oh yeah, they had a score in Twitter back and forth. It was he was showing receipts. Yeah, they were flying to each other. He was just railing her at a hotel and then leaving there.
It's so crazy how it must, like, when that is on top of you and all of the veins are kind of like looking at you with their own eyes, like, how could you ever have an orgasm?
From everything I've gathered, this Chad Johnson fella, he scouts Bachelor just like David Spade does, looks for the hot ones.
Yeah.
Then he follows these girls on Instagram, and then he DMs them, and he's like, I will fuck the shit out of you like a real man, or something extremely aggressive.
Right.
And some of them go for it.
Yeah, he's batting 333. It's respectable. You get in the second slot if you're hitting that high.
Law of averages.
Okay, so we're going to nighttime.
Nighttime!
Dylan gets a night card. Blake's have... Jesus Christ. Dylan gets a day card. Blake's having a tough time seeing them laughing.
Sounds like a serial killer.
Hey, Blake, you remember when he had to watch you dry fucking her? Holding her up and making out? I think you can handle them giggling with each other.
Well, he gets really chummy with geriatric Chris. He's like elbowing him. He's like, hey, how about that Dylan guy? He's a little clingy.
Well, Blake does like still have hope, I feel like. He because how could you not? Dylan's a little spoon. It would be unreasonable to not have hope, And Hannah's Hannah. All right.
Small spoon.
Let's get to night date.
Night date!
So Dylan and his boo-boo sit down and they have a rich, compelling conversation.
Throughout all this chaos, you've made me feel so special. Doing the little dates and just pulling me aside and reminding me and feel being open and honest. And that really, really means a lot.
I love doing those things for you. Just because seeing you happy and feel appreciated is something that I want to keep doing all the time.
Seeing that you really fought for me and didn't give up.
I think these two hit it off.
Very well. Yeah. There are some problematic moments, though, like every time he smiles.
That is a tick he has, which
Dude.
it's one of those things where he feels very uncomfortable in himself, and he does this little Joker tilt with his neck, and he's like, and then it's just a glimpse of it. And
I think there's something more tragic going on.
Yeah?
I think that's the way he smiles.
Kind of reminds me, of course, of Chandler in Friends. Always
going to say that.
Has a really big problem smiling in photographs. If no camera around, beautiful smile. Camera around, he looks like Dylan.
Yeah.
Every time. It's just the camera's not there.
He
okay?
looks like he's getting hit with a taser mid-smile every time. Not a high voltage, but just a little... Anyway, so...
We got to tase me for content.
Have to. Patreon.com/whatever it is. So when he tells her that he's starting to fall in love with her, it's baffling because I can't tell if he's putting her in a tough spot that she's acting her way out of, or that she actually likes him, because she looks like she saw a dog get hit by a car when he tells her that he's falling in love with her. It was I'm confused.
It was a look. It was very uncomfortable.
I'm going to lean on the side of she thinks this guy's a pussy. She's going to dump him the second the cameras are off of him so that she can, through some PR tip, say, distance. I like Dylan. Things just didn't work out.
I have developed a Pavlovian response to the word pussy.
Yeah?
My head just starts bopping. I think I got to turn it into high gear.
All right, we got to be careful with that. We got to be careful with that word. It's charged.
My mouth is watering.
You know what?
Let's take. You know what Dylan just said about Hannah G and Dylan. Let's take bets. Does their relationship make it to the BIP tell-all?
Oh, I don't know if is there a BIP tell-all?
Oh yeah.
After Paradise.
Yep.
I'm going to say absolutely not. I hope not. That would be such great TV if they were broken up and we had to watch him on the live stage. God, that would be amazing. But you know what? I'm going to go back. I think Hannah needs the cameras. She needs to be with them all the way through it.
I don't think they get engaged, but Hannah is going to milk this. She's going to make it really quiet.
Yeah.
They're not going to move to each other's cities, and
Right.
Dylan will float back into obscurity.
He's a bitch thistle.
And she'll continue to make Instagram money. I wonder what he's at for followers, because he's gotten a lot of camera time, but unlikable.
Yeah, he's probably at like 19,000 right now.
Oh, no.
No,
127.
You think?
Oh, wow.
That's a good guess. JPJ's at like 250 or something.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Speaking of JPJ, he said his heart rate was jacked. I think he's confusing heart palpitations from love with the effect of Adderall.
Yeah.
That is so flowing
How
around that.
dare you accuse him of being on Adderall? I don't think he would take it. I think somebody would be like, hey, do you want to take this drug?
And he'd be like, yes, Queen.
No, he'd be like, no, I don't really do drugs. I'm good. And he would go like nap and read a fantasy book or something.
He smokes massive nug, dude. He's all about nug. Someone called him Planet Nugtune.
Can we get to the fucking Aztec warriors, please?
If you stop throwing around erroneous statements like JPJ doesn't do drugs, we can.
Okay, Pat. All right.
Yeah.
Pavlovian again.
Yeah.
JPJ.
Yeah. It's almost like when I tell you to stop doing something, like, hey, can you turn that down? Or like, hey, can you pull back on this impression? You just do it more.
I love it. I think it's
just
one of
have to
your
learn
best
from
impressions, and I would love JPJ to meet Luann.
Oh, wow. No. Jesus Christ, don't. So 101 Aztec warriors start charging at them, which was just a ton. It was too much.
That was actually the cartel, and all of a sudden, all production is dead, as well as Hannah.
If you were sitting there, I would be horrified.
Oh yeah,
Like, this is a bad role in Jumanji.
Well, apparently, they're the greatest fighters on Earth, says the world's wimpiest man.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't say pussy.
and that's exactly how Dylan is going to fight for Hannah, just like these Aztec warriors
Screaming
did so many
with
years
feathers on. Okay, so
Dylan thought Aztec warriors fought by crying and apologizing.
yeah, no, they did it by ripping children's hearts out and praying to God for superpowers. That's how they fought.
And sacrificing people to these mysterious gods. Idiots.
Okay, so we've got to move on. At some point, I think I fast forwarded through a Chris and Katie conversation. I just have that in my notes somewhere because I don't remember when it was. So, anyways, all right, let's get to one of the highlights of the night. That is JPJ and Tayshia. I mean, he is so goddamn cute around her.
Really?
Patrick, fuck you. Don't be so cynical, okay?
Okay.
There's nothing but genuine bubbles here.
Oh, okay.
I really think so.
From him,
You are such a prick.
I think from JPJ's end, but I don't think Tayshia is feeling these same things.
Well, she's faking it if she, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. There's no tongue in these kisses. They just keep pecking each other on the lips. She's entertained by him. She could hang out with him all day and enjoy herself, but I don't think she's really feeling it.
I'm just talking about him. I think he's got bubbles.
Yeah, he's got bubbles.
Yeah, he's got big time bubbles, and I think she's got bubbles too. I think she's testing the waters because he's so much, and then I think she's like, oh, but maybe there's more underneath the surface, and but I think she's gonna be like, yeah, no, it is so much, it's not worth getting there.
No, she's gonna test that water, and she's gonna be like, nope, this is tap, no bubbles.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just think he's the best. He's a caveman, but he's an absolute gentleman. It makes me very happy, the kissing, and then it becomes too much. And then it made me happy again. But I don't know. I think
I don't understand your affection for him.
I was just going to say, I think they're so wonderful. I think America agrees with me.
Why?
And I'm so confused why you two nimwits are just coming at me with this is BS.
Well,
I mean, it's love.
He says, look, everyone thinks I'm a stoner who surfs all day. Yeah. Pretty much. Every clip we have of you, I haven't heard him complete a full sentence since
right.
we were supposed to fall in love with him at Hannah B's Men Tell All.
I'm gonna get
when
really
they put him on
angry.
stage and they cut to.
I knew I was going to get really angry. Stop it. That's the fourth impression of the night. Stop. Seriously, the audience is tired of it.
Pussy.
We're losing it. We're absolutely losing it. Come on. Next up.
She tells him he takes 12 naps a day, Dylan.
All right. Patrick, please shut the fuck up. Next up, Hannah Brown. That's the Bachelorette.
Oh.
She comes in, and she comes in with a purpose. She's got to pull Demi away, and she's got to chat with her buddy about her relationship with Christian, who is a woman. Any highlights from this convo, or can we move past
No.
this?
Listen, there's no purpose.
The episode goes steeply downhill
Yeah.
and continues into episode 6.
Then let's leave this conversation because it's so boring. Let's leave this conversation because it's so boring and get to Chris the vet, Chris the geriatric. Hannah, he's talking to Derek and states something rather obvious.
It seemed like Hannah came in with a purpose and she really wanted to talk to Demi and let her know something.
This is the type
Thank you.
of hot take you get from experience. You have to be on the show 6 times to know this is what's going on right now.
Yeah, it's like somebody walks into a bar, hits a guy in the face, and then leaves, and somebody's like, I think that guy was really pissed off at that guy. I mean, he came in here with a I think he wanted to punch him in the face.
Is that right?
He ran directly at him, punched him in the face, and ran out of here.
Must have done something to him or something.
You guys think that?
Okay.
Wow.
So she calls for Chris Harrison, and then we have the end of episode 5 of Bachelor in Paradise. We've got to take a quick break. We'll be back with episode 6 right after that. Okay, boys. Episode 6, Bachelor in Paradise. New episode, new gen thoughts. General thoughts, shortened it. This is where we explain our thoughts about the episode, generally speaking. I'll go first. Stark contrast. This was awful television, dominated by a storyline that I don't think anybody really gave a shit after, 25 minutes. And it took up an hour of television.
If we go back to last episode, we're looking at like an hour and a half of this 4 hours, and it's been horrific. I will say my general thoughts. I'm a little confused because I have something about hair on cheesecake right here. Of course. Oh wait, that is of course by another Below Deck podcast or other property notes.
Which just you got to peek behind the curtain. I mean, that stuff is hilarious. You got to get over there and you got to subscribe to another Below Deck podcast. But your general thoughts for episode 6 of Bachelor in Paradise?
Yes, sucked.
Okay.
My general thoughts on episode
Pat,
6.
hurry up now.
Okay. Here's my general thoughts. When you have to recap twice in a show who's coupling up, which they did, you got a shit burger.
All right. So really excited to get into this.
This is where I'm not going to rely on my notes. I'm really just going to try to bounce off you guys.
Be in the moment.
Yeah, just be here, baby. So Demi and Chris, shitface Harrison, family man and lover of horror, sit down. And is there anything here?
Yeah, she tells him that she can't imagine her life without her girlfriend.
Yep.
And she doesn't want to lead Derek on.
It's unbelievable. I'm wondering, why is Demi being supported in this? She came to the island in a relationship, which is essentially, I mean, the subtext is very obviously, she pulled a Jed. She just came here so that she could get more cachet as a social media influencer. And I think she's got 1 million fucking followers. It's working.
Now, hold on. She also framed this excursion into Bachelor in Paradise as she was in a quote-unquote casual relationship with her girlfriend or a girl that she was dating.
Yeah.
And it turns out these guys have exchanged, we love each other.
Yeah, she was there for clarity. It's pretty clear.
I want to go there.
Is that
for
another
clarity.
Is that another chick she's into?
God, that would be a terrible name for a human being. Okay, so Blake, yes.
If I may, the one biggest acting job of this entire episode,
Harrison.
no, Derek having to pretend like he gives a flying
Oh,
fuck.
I think Derek cares.
Not at all.
Okay.
I mean, I think he might have been into her a little, but I think his reaction would be like, "You bitch."
Right.
A little bit. You got to show a little anger.
Totally.
But he played the role of no. It's
Mopey.
Like, yeah.
He was mopey and then
I thought it was really well played. I agree it was acting, but I thought he did it well.
Derek doesn't give a flying fuck. Wherever he came from, he's having a good time over there. He doesn't need to worry about little Spinner over here. And may I remind the audience, we had Taylor Nolan in here, one of our first guests ever, who was engaged to this fool and said that, well, she didn't tell us, but we read it online. They got engaged and they moved to different cities and he basically didn't call her and then it just fell apart.
Right, which is why we'll get to the mopiness later. It's like, you got engaged. Shut up. All right. Yes?
People in one of the many Facebook groups I'm in, someone listed a bunch of reasons why Derek is not really a sympathetic figure. I thought they were all pretty mundane, but one of them, he dated Stephanie Pratt, I guess. I don't know. Does that mean anything to you guys?
The Hills?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He dated her. He told Olivia that he wanted to break up with her because he didn't want to date someone from the franchise, and then appeared on Bachelor in Paradise the next season. Taylor, there were reports she said he participated in manipulative behavior, which I thought was a little vague. But a laundry list.
Yeah, I could see that.
So he's like Blake. He's working himself through the Rolodex of the DMs.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good bachelor.
But
it'd be great.
Unlike Blake, he always seems to be in these seemingly monogamous relationships for long periods of time. He was with Taylor for a while.
You can be a relationship player. I mean, you can bounce from relationship to relationship. I mean, there are plenty of people that
serial dater. Yeah,
serial dater. Kristina pulls Blake when they're down at the bar. She's playing dirty ball right now. She's asking him, like, who do you want to see next? Implying, like, just trying to sow, in the reality that his relationship with Kristina is not going to work. Like, you excited for the next person? He says he hopes that it's a guy. And she kind of started to go on the defensive. I mean, she's heating up, man. She says, like, why? Are you going to give me, you're not going to give me your rose? To quote the great, what does she say? What does she say?
I don't remember, but if I may, can I toot my own horn? Last week I laid out a plan that perhaps two people that aren't romantically interested in each other will play a game where they pick each other, and they have actually dubbed a name for this called the Friend Rose.
Yep, friendship rose.
I hadn't heard that before, but now
I think they've kind of said that in the past, but you did mention that. I was going to bring up how I think Tayshia is employing this strategy that you presented.
Guys, I know I'm probably going to get us in trouble, but may I comment on a woman's look for a second?
As long as it's broad, sweeping, and applies to all of them.
Fair enough.
We wouldn't be the bad boys of the Bachelor Recap podcast world if we didn't allow you to go with these types of opinions.
Here's my thoughts. Tayshia, the hottest chick here on the island. Why does she always wear her bathing suit so high?
Very concerning direction to start.
No. Watch the video. She never shows her belly button. It's unbecoming. She's probably UOB.
Oh, God.
Just say it. I don't want to ask.
Ugly Audi belly button. Yuck. Anyone who has an Audi is gross. And she has it. 100%. Watch the intro. She's got... You guys like her tits. I've heard you guys talk off mic.
She has absolutely gorgeous breasts. Don't try to put that on us.
Why is her little
something?
leopard panties above her belly button? It's weird looking. And then on the beach, you never see her belly button.
Does this apply to Kristina as well? Or Kristina or
Demi?
No. Who's the lipstick eater? Does this apply to Kristina or Caitlyn? Because that's what we were talking about. We're talking about Kristina.
No, that was my own private thought.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, Kristina's playing dirty ball right now. She takes Caitlyn over, and they kind of have a conversation about, what Kristina's motives are. And I think that Caitlyn just freaking bodies her. She's like, you're preventing people from lifelong, meaningful love so that you can get a friendship rose.
But Kristina doesn't have the awareness that like she was just getting owned. She just gets really angry.
Right.
It was,
Yeah.
Oh man, just all that dirty ball. It's just too much.
It's filthy.
Yeah.
So, anyways, next up is Chris and Katie. Nothing to talk about here other than like, if you don't want your man going off, tell him.
Nothing else
Very
to say.
No, that's it. So, anyways, hashtag GenSav comes in. One of the most beautiful girls on the planet, according to
wow.
Dean. It seems like Blake's already fucked her.
Well, didn't Kaylin say that they met at Stagecoach?
Well,
Was that a joke?
aside from the Stagecoach thing, like I think that he raked in at Stagecoach, but I think he's just had sex with like as many of these girls as he can, or at least hooked up with.
All right, so can you imagine being on this show? 22 million people watch you. You kind of get recognized for 2 years. I've been in this room with Iggy.
Yeah.
And this guy was actually had some fun with that. And as gross as he is, I can't imagine the hot girls or the hot people on this show
Right.
walking into a bar, the fun of it. And 2 years in, you get to like, now you're new like Blake, and you get to like tap on that
Yes,
keyboard.
but what's very dangerous is fucking within the small town. This small town of people, which if you make a mistake, you walk out into the town square and everybody knows, oh, Blake, you did this with this person,
Well, especially if you're kind
Very
of the hot
convoluted
commodity.
analogy.
If you're the hot commodity and you're going on Bachelor in Paradise and you fucked a lot of people, you got what's coming to you, kid.
Right.
And this is the first season that I think we've seen like, oh, off camera, you fucked a lot of people.
I've always wanted to use this expression. I think it applies to this. Don't shit where you eat.
This is perfect.
Oh, that's nice.
So anyways, much like Samson, I think that Dean's mustache gives him like powers of he's like a good guy. He's being really loyal to Kaylin, which is cute and confusing because she's absolutely awful. Yes?
It's the type of savviness you get after a couple seasons. We saw it with Nick Viall. He became like, even after his
I'm the
appearance.
cool
though,
guy.
Yeah. The wise one knows how to not get in trouble, even though I'm still fucking everybody on the low.
Yeah, oddly enough, with the very girl we speak about, hashtag GenSav. So anyways, Katie and Chris are chatting, and she asks if she's got anything to worry about. Pat?
I think she's gonna come get you. Do I have any reason to worry?
Now, this is the exact guy that doesn't have what Dean has now, which is you fucked everybody. Don't be a fool on this beach. Chris should be behaving himself here. Just hang with Katie and you'll be likable later on. You can fuck anybody you want off this show, but he can't help himself.
I think he is, I don't know, maybe he's emotionally fragile because she says something that it's very like early.
Come on.
Patrick, let me. This is very, very common in early stages of a relationship. You bury your true feelings. You can't communicate your true feelings. Of course, Katie just wants him to stay around, but she says, second guessing herself, what she thinks she wants, what she thinks he wants to hear, and when you can't communicate properly, things get misconstrued, and he takes that as non-committal from her.
Well, I wish every girl that I ever dated did that, so I could use that excuse to go out and have sex with other girls and come home and then blame them.
You think that's what he's doing?
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of Ross and Rachel. We were on a break.
All right.
Is that right?
Okay, so anyways, GenSav does land on Chris. I just feel bad for Katie. She doesn't have the confidence to just be awesome Katie. I think there's a really cool person in there. I think out of all this, I realize, Chris, you may disagree. I think he deserves more than Annalise. I pegged him as somebody who was perfect for Annalise, and I think that was really mean, and I was wrong. I think he's a good guy.
I think he's a good guy, too. He seems to treat others really well, but I think he needs to be a little harder on his wait staff because they seem to be really inattentive.
Yeah.
Really?
The Yelp reviews, it was horrible. That guy's still waiting for his check.
It takes a certain type of person to manage well. Not everybody can do it. So anyways, date. Let's get to it.
Don't own a bar.
Date.
Date, next day. Let's move on.
It's not the next day. It's the same day. They get out.
Date.
All right, they get out on a catamaran. A little choppy up there. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Mother Nature is a fickle, angry bitch, and she wins. She wins today. This date is shot in the head.
Old organs can't take movement.
The hubris to not have a backup plan. I guess, what do you do when it just gets choppy all of a sudden?
Yeah.
But yeah, fickle, angry bitch.
Fickle, angry bitch.
So we're talking about Chris and Jen on this boat.
Yeah, Jen said.
It seems fun, but they're drinking champagne and then he barfs his brains out. I just want to give context.
Yeah. No, it's important because I just said Mother Nature won. You know, I got to say, he is a man after my own heart. I get so... My tummy just flips upside down if I'm on choppy waters. God help you.
Hey, let me ask you guys this. We know the producers of this show now. We've been in this world.
Don't know a single one.
I know a couple. Did they set this date up with that choppy water to make this douchebag? Like on the punch list where
Might
they said,
be a hot take.
hey, what are your things that you don't like? He said, I don't like being on the water because that'll make me vomit. Perfect.
So as I said, this date was terminated very early, but they will try again at night. Who cares? Can we move on to Nicole and Clay?
You're a touchdown, baby. I want to be a lady. Cheering from the sidelines. You take away my frown lines. Ba-dum-bum.
Oh, man.
In paradise with you, things don't seem so blue.
Oh, babe. That was so cute. Oh, my God.
I don't think she's I don't think she's a good singer.
Little pitchy dog.
I mean, it wasn't well rehearsed. It wasn't drilled. 41 knots.
and I didn't. It was bad. It was a bad song, but I didn't need the vulgarity of "I want you in my tummy." What was she saying there? 16 knots.
Wow. So yeah, low knots. I mean, low knots. Lastly, Chris and Katie. They chat. I just feel really bad for her. I like her. I want her to be happy. Next day. Let's move on.
Next day.
Shitface pulls Dem aside and tells her that they've made a decision. They've plucked Christian out of Florida and they've brought her to paradise. So a couple of things. Great producing. Really, really good producing. Wonderful mining of woke currency. And it's just a big time win-win. It's just a big time win-win. Also, I'll say it again, the pull that Demi has. I mean, this does not just happen to anyone. This is a perfect storm of things that the producers were just like, yeah, let's bring a stranger who's never been in any show onto this island so that we can torture Derek and have Demi hook up with a chick.
Well, you say torture Derek, but I would also argue that we are torturing this non-ready for camera personality.
Totally.
Lamb for the slaughter.
When Demi was like, are you comfortable staying here on the island? I was like, that is such a fucking bitchy question. Leave the island and go be with her.
Oh, you're going to party here? Oh, the guy you were fucking for the last 6 days?
Yeah.
Oh, let's hang out at a bar with him. Let's get to know each other.
Yeah.
Now, Demi is a gross human being.
Okay.
No, she totally is. Can you, I know I've used this phrase many times, but the baby birdies love it. Can you imagine if the roles were reversed? A dude goes, hey, I was fucking this girl.
He's fucking a guy.
No.
Oh, well, I'm
yes.
spinning a little bit. My girlfriend's coming here, and now you two girlfriends are going to talk. And we'll see how that works out.
It isn't tit for tat.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if
tit.
we're reversing the roles, you can't have your cake and eat it too. This guy is fucking a guy in your hypothetical.
So, anyways, the last hour of the show is dedicated to her breaking up with Derek. And weirdly, there's just not a ton here at all. It's all very mature. Christian's very mature. She reads like Broker or something. And Derek is just cordial. I mean, there's not a ton here. There's not as much drama.
Well, I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Dill. The fun part is Christian, who's not ready for TV, showing up looking beautiful. Some of our baby birdies have said that she looks like Hannah G's mother.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yep.
I think she looks better than that. But she's showing up here, and she doesn't understand the wild storm of Demi and how manipulative she can be to utilize her for good TV. And she's in it for real. And it's very odd because she actually talks to the camera like a veteran and says, I'm starting to feel feelings of anger and resentment towards Demi. Which was wonderful because that's exactly what you should be feeling, because you're like, all right, so we told each other we loved each other, and then you convinced me that you needed to be on a TV show, probably to make money or whatever. And then now I'm landing here and you're saying, well, kind of fuck this guy.
Well, I mean, Christian knows what she's doing. I mean, Christian said yes to this whole thing. So moving to Derek, if we could, please. I said he gets a little mopey. Stop saying you just wish someone would choose you. And that you're never good enough. You got engaged on the show. I like you, but be strong. Like, you've kind of convinced me on him. He's probably not a genuine human being. He's probably, like you said, or painted a manipulative bitch.
Hold on. May I remind the audience, behind the lights, the mics, the tears, the fears.
Haven't said that in a while.
We are 7 days into filming. When this ex-girlfriend shows up. We still have 3 more weeks of television. So when Demi is heartbroken about Derek and the girl that she was actually dating, it's been about 7 days. That is very sad. She's selling her girlfriend out for a dude she's been dating for 7 days.
All right. Well, there's lots of fun, awkward moments here. Just to end the night, we've got Derek talking to Kristen.
It's bittersweet to meet you, I guess.
Yeah, same.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure even what to say.
We couldn't have foreseen any of this.
No, we're on a TV show called Bachelor in Paradise. We could have never foreseen this.
You want to get to the night date?
No, we're good.
Just go.
All right, that's the end of the episode. They had a wonderful conversation at dinner that I didn't take notes on. Who cares? It's a lot of podcasts, guys. We're gonna see plenty more of Christian and Demi next week on Bachelor in Paradise. Remember, jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. Please leave us 5 stars if you could. It helps the show tremendously. Follow us on social media. Dylan Pete Wren, Real Nicholas Davis, Pat Hickey 500.
Well, if you're still listening, I'm going to put out a proclamation right now.
Okay.
We're at 513 reviews right now. If we're not at 530 reviews next week at this time, I'm not doing the show. So that's it.
So hop in the iTunes ratings and reviews if you want Pat to remain on the show, which I think we would all love. Join us on Facebook.
It's the blend of the 3 varying personalities that is what people really latch onto.
You may even call us amigos. So join us on Facebook.com/Another Bachelor Podcast. All of the baby birdies are mixing it up in there with tea, hot takes, and friendship. Guys, that's it for us. We'll be back next week. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodbye.
Bye, guys.